Hello everybody, Jones9 back here with another video for Torchlight Infinite beginners, and this actually could be used for some intermediate and even advanced players, potentially. So in the last video, we went over mapping and in-game content, things of that nature. In this video, we're going to go through some of the vendors here and what you can do with them as far as that goes. Each vendor is based around the content that you can find out about in the previous video with all the different mechanics you can do. Each one has its own thing, drops its own items, and kind of go from there. All these vendors help you progress your character in one way or another, or give you currency, like this one here, the Space-Time Wanderer. Space-Time Wanderer focuses on the cube mechanic, while also the mechanic Trial Divinity, which you can grab these compasses from doing specific mechanics. They drop these emblems, and then you can fight a boss here. I've not done that boss, so I won't go too much on that. But one of the ones that can focus on is here, the Blessing of the Gods, which is from the cube mechanics. Yeah, something sold out, but through the cube mechanic, you fight monsters that give you these divinity stones. These stones here can be exchanged for random currency throughout the nether realm. There's also uniques that can come from here and things of that nature. You get a bunch of these and just save up and just kind of come through this, and you can choose to buy things. Flame Elementium especially is like a big thing here. There's also Ultimate Embers, these wedges here that you need for your slates and making them have legendary potential, things of that nature. And then down here, there's a refresh button to re-roll this and see what other options you can get. There is a Divinity Stone calculator you can find online to help you know what you should spend Divinity Stones on. Make it a little bit easier for you to not use so many. Like you see this here, it's 57. I can go ahead and grab this if I want to. However, rerolling this, there's a potential for this to be, pretty much cut in half. And that is a better value for just one Flame Elementium versus just getting this one just because it's here. Another thing he offers in this game, there are fluorescent memories. Essentially, they are divination cards like Path of Exile has, and you can click on it. Your inventory will pop up here. Some people keep them in a stash. I don't. I always keep them in my inventory. But after you meet a certain criteria, like this one says, collect 3 to exchange for 10 random flames from the game, which is Flame Sim or Flame Elementium, and you can toss it in there and then go through there. There are 10 card layouts here, so you can always have up to 10, and then you hit a button, claim what you got, and go from there. I actually used mine already, so I don't have anything to show you here, but you will see me doing this on stream a lot after 20-30 maps and just kind of going through there and doing it. But this is a good way to go through. You can get compasses from this, you get currency, you can get pretty much anything in the game. This is like the main vendor that I will be in messing with, and that's because I do the cube mechanic, and obviously divination cards are just drop passively throughout the game. Another vendor, we kind of went through this one already, but your arms dealer here. You can bring your slates here. You can mess with your energy here. You can imprint items here, which means you pretty much make it so in case anything happens, so you can roll back to it. I don't do gear printing. I've not dabbled in that, but if it's the same thing as like beast crafting and Path of Exile, it's the same thing. But that's our arms dealer. Next, we have Patty here. This focuses on the nightmare mechanic, which is dream nightmare. You see me doing that a lot, but dream interpretation is another mechanic where you can go through and make your character stronger. You can only have 3 dream interpretations on a character at one given time. So if you do roll a 4th one, it will not let you put it on. You will have to swap out gear or change things up. As you can see, I have 4 things here, but I only have 3 equipped: my helmet, my sword, and my ring that I'm currently using. Crafting on this one right here though. So you would put this in, and they do use their own talkings. There is a trinket one for rings, belts, and such like that. There's a weapon one, obviously for weapons, and then there's an armor one for everything, every piece of armor that is not legendary, and shields. And you can put that in there and you will re-roll. You will get one good affix and one bad affix every time. They are completely random. It gives you 3 options always, and then the random dangerous one just picks out of any of these. You see them here, the list of things that you can get, and there are all a bunch of different ones. Some potentially bad, some not so bad, and then some that are really good in here as far as the dream ones go. Like these pin ones here, like this whole thing is all like very, very lucky dreams that you can get to make your character more tanky or super powerful. And then that's how that works. Again, it is all random in what you get, but that is part of the mechanic here. Also, you can access the your dream vision here and its talent tree. If you're not in the map, you can do it like this. I guess it doesn't want me to leave. I should select the dream here. Take this one for now. All right, so that's that. I remember to put my stuff back on because I'm gonna map after this video and show off some more things. But that is Patty. That is Dream Nightmare. Very big on the in game and what you do with her. Another one here recently to us is tower sequencing. It's through the outlaw mechanic. Essentially, in this, you will get these base mods here, which is a regular epic version, and then the legendary version for base mods, which give you even more power through that mechanic. These are very rare. They cost a lot. So if you aren't sequencing your weapon, you can sell these for a bunch of money. But essentially all it does is that when you go through and sequence, you're going to have a couple options that will pop up actually after you have 10. And then you want to make a sequence. Sometimes the sequence hits what you want, sometimes it doesn't. It's all part of the gamble in this game and what ARPGs do. It's not always guaranteed to get exactly what you want, and that's kind of the dopamine of it, is to finally hit that thing that you want, and then you become that much more stronger or that much more tanky. But I don't have any here to show off. My weapon is sequenced though. You can see that here. It says additional weapon damage here. If I hit details, you will see sequence pop up. So that way you know if your weapon is sequenced or not. It'll also have this little circle icon with a little hole in it, kind of like a donut. And then you know that the weapon is sequenced. So I can choose to reroll this, or I can choose to keep it. If you buy it off trade, same thing. But you go through and you can actually favorite these if you want to hit certain ones, so you know which sequences you're looking for. So 1, 2, 6, 2, 3, 4, things like that. But that is sequencing. That is the main thing with this mechanic here. You can also check your crime rating. Make sure that you're leveling this up as you go through the criteria. You want to get to 5 stars. That gives you the most benefit out of this. Just keep that in mind, and also use this to go to the vault if you have a key card to rob the main bank and maybe get a bunch of money from it. Here we have the Eternia one. I'm not going to go too much on this because again, this one got reworked this league. Essentially what it's good for is farming. There is its own talent tree in this. So if you dive into this, just check out this vendor here, and you can mess with it. Same with Mistville. I don't mess with it. These are 2 mechanics that I don't generally touch. So if you want to look at those, there may be a video online for it. I may do an in-depth thing for it myself just to learn it for future endeavors, in case I get bored with the league or I just want to try something else out. We'll see. Snow paper here. This one is very specific for things. I actually have a talent here, a link. These links can drop from this mechanic, if I'm not mistaken, and then you can use the mechanic itself when you do this to advance your skills. It takes the skill itself and these inspiration essences drop from the paint mechanic to level it up to 5, making it that much more powerful. And they can drop at any tier once you put it in there. The mechanic itself has its own talent tree, as you can see the further canvas. So once you go through this, you will begin to get to the higher end and drop some really crazy items. This mechanic is farmed a lot. A lot of people make a lot of money off of it. This is the talent tree and what it looks like. You can advance to this yourself, take a look at it. Probably one of the more promising mechanics in this game. So if you ever want to, color some paint and then go and mess with some monsters, you can do that. Another non-vendor, but probably one of the most essential things in this game is this training dummy right here, operated by Sydney. I do see a lot of characters, players and their characters go through this and kind of just like avoid this thing. But this is probably the best thing in this whole area for doing stuff. If you go through, they have different levels, 40, 60, 75, and 85. Then it stops at 85 because that's kind of what the nether realm stops at essentially. But the monster levels do go up to level 90 of deep space, meaning that they are that much more powerful. So one of the things that I feel people miss out on is what the dummy actually does. Not only does it test your character's power and how much damage you're doing, but it also tests the survival rate and gives you a bunch of info on what you're doing, how much damage you're gaining, stats you're at, your crit ratings, things like that. And this is how you know what tier of character power you need to be at. So a lot of the game is based around damage. Damage is king. Damage means everything, then some. The faster you kill things, the easier it is to do these maps. And that's kind of what this dummy tells you to do. So if, let's say you're a level 75 character, you don't necessarily want to hit a 70 or 85 dummy. You want to kind of see where you're at as far as, where this is. Obviously, I'm above it. I'm at 97. So I'm just kind of doing things, and it gives you a threshold on where you're at. One of the things that I feel like as a player we miss out on is that we may see that our number is reflective here, but it may not correlate to mapping itself. I'm going to do a separate video on this and explain more of what I mean, but using this dummy is the most beneficial thing you can do. If you get 1 or 2 upgrades, go hit the dummy, see how much power you gain from it, see if it's a loss, and then kind of go back to mapping and see what you got to do to change that up, But don't ever miss out on this dummy here. And again, I'll explain this more in another video, but this is your best friend. It's probably the closest friend you're going to have in this game outside of your other friends that are playing this game. So keep that in mind. Also, we have a skill trader here that sells, certain skills you may or may not need. You can also gain these just from, pressing K and going in here and hitting change. And let's say you need a different skill over here, the same thing pops up right here with all the skills for you that you can put in. So you don't have to necessarily go to this vendor here. Most people skip out on it because they can just press a button. Another vendor here is Cloud Oasis, another mechanic recent to this game. This one focuses on town upgrading, which you can use to get currency. You can get certain blending materials, and these blending materials allow you to pretty much make your belt have certain mods on it. Mine has +1 attack skill level, so you can use this yourself to get a bunch of different mods. They're all over the place. But any belt can be blended. It takes 3 different materials to make certain combinations. You can also see that through here. Show you what the UI looks like. You click this, and there's a bunch of different ones. And the materials are listed here on the right. They have medium talents, they have core talents, and they have aromatic talents, which are the best ones in the game that you can use. So make sure you're checking this out. Essentially, at lower levels, you don't necessarily need to blend anything, but if you have the money or you're doing a mechanic yourself and you just want to try it out, you can. There's a right way to do it. That's usually followed in the pro build guides. But if you want to mess with yourself, you are absolutely able to do so. I'll show you what the Cloud Oasis looks like. It's here laid out for you. The main core here can be accessed to show kind of what your town looks like, how much money you have, things of that nature. You can upgrade and stuff here, all the things. I don't mess with it too much outside of the season. I don't really care for it. The only thing I come here for is the blending ritual, which that's all I need to know about. Some of the last mechanics over here that actually matter. You have your cube one here for divinity slates. You can use the wedges to get better ones. So you take the magic ones to get rare. You take the rare ones to get legendaries. You can also use the stones you get from salvaging slates and stuff like that. Once you get 2,000 of them to get a random slate, or you can use legendary wedge to get one of the slates that you may need for your character or that benefit you the most. And then inside this, there are also packs where you can use the divinity fragments. They're very, I've never seen one of these a single time playing this game, but they can be obtained to get certain packs, which the packs when combined allow you to hit certain mods depending on the correlation of that pack. Very good. Again, I use this mechanic a lot because I'm a cube gamer. I like the gamba, really fun, and you can kind of just pull anything out of the box. Another very overlooked person for a new player is right here. You have corrosion, which essentially allows you to take a piece of gear, legendaries usually. As you can see, these are some of the ones here. I can't exactly put them in because they're already corroded, but then you will see that text here. Corroded gear cannot be corroded or crafted again, so it's pretty much set in stone. And essentially what it is you put in a piece of gear. You have 1 of 5 options in 2 different tiers. Desecration is not unlocked in this tier. It is unlocked through this tier through a familiar nexus. These ones above use Amberon core, I believe is what they call it. And they have the choice of 1 out of 5 options to hit things. In this one, it make your character either stronger, bind the gear, reroll something, make it weaker, things of that nature. That's pretty much what corrosion is. It is a very powerful gamba mechanic. It's not recommended to just gamble, anything, but if you have the money, you have the currency, send it. You may hit something big. Gambling in this game can make or break you. Something that costs 1 FE can be corroded, hit certain mods, and turn into 1,000 FE. You never know. But that is kind of what this game is based around, especially if you hit desecration. Desecration usually means you're going to land something really good because it double corrupts the target mod, kind of like what my gear looks like here. And hitting both of those gives you a lot of damage, changes the entire text of what something is, and essentially makes you very strong. Same thing like with my boots here in hitting mods. So check out the corrosion mechanic. It is very good. The Voicey terminal is also here, which is used through the black seal mechanic. You get 6 different seals in this. You unlock the boss, you kill the boss, you open a treasure box with a lot of loot. So Zenith here is that, and that's pretty much it. You have the trade house that you can access here if you don't feel like opening your tab and hitting trade house and checking things out like that. So if you want to, you can come here, and then there's also your storage box, which is right here. That's pretty much it. We went over the trader already. Your other best friend in this game for 1 through 7 tiers timelines. Make sure that you're using him. Don't spend your resonance badly, and that's it. So that's what this town is like. Make sure you guys check out the next video where I will go over what you should do as far as speeding and progressing through your mapping in this game and other ARPGs. See you guys next time. Catch me on Twitch. Feel free to pop in, ask questions. I do have a point redeem going up now for looking at build codes and such for people, especially if you're playing Erica 1 like I am this season, or any build I may know about, and just kind of help you out and become a better hunter in this game. Till next time.